All right, it is yet again the weekend. This is the Friday, the 27th of June, and we have two big movies opening this particular weekend. The two movies in question are F1 and M3GAN 2.0, or M3GAN 2.0, if you read it that way. So I'm currently on my way on the Friday, and as you can tell by the light around me, it is going to be an evening show at the 7 o'clock show of M3GAN 2.0. And we are on our way. So this is part of, again, the two movies that are part of our summer movie draft. I believe the owners of the movies are Candace with M3GAN, and F1 is Mitch. So it'll be an interesting turnout for this particular weekend. Who gets the biggest box office? I'm pretty sure it'll more than likely be Brad Pitt doing his F1 best, because it's a Brad Pitt. We got an IMAX version of the movie coming out, so that gives us a little more money, all that sort of thing. M3GAN 2.0 obviously is a sequel to the 2022 original. This one looks to be just as campy and hopefully as fun as the original. It's one of those, Terminator 2 sort of situations with the T-800 switching sides because it gets a new program. So it should be kind of fun. Doesn't look like a full theater for M3GAN 2.0. I also do have a plan at the on Sunday to go see F1 with some family members. So we'll see where we get with that. Like I said, it's going to be hard to pick what's going to happen. I haven't seen a lot of stuff concerning F1. I mean, other than the usual stuff, there's no over-the-top sort of thing. There is no popcorn bucket or anything like that. I think M3GAN 2.0, I think, is just a regular bucket that I've seen, some collector cups and whatnot. But again, that's one of the most fascinating things about movies nowadays, is the extras you get when you go to the movie. So we're going to go see M3GAN 2.0. And then later in the weekend, we're going to go see F1. I wonder if the sequel is going to be called F2. I know, it's not a good joke. One interesting thing about the theater I'm going to is that F1 is showing in more than one theater. How many I don't actually do know, but it is playing in at the IMAX, again, finger quotes with the fake IMAX screen, and I think it's in one of the other ones that has D-Box or something like that. Or does the IMAX have D-Box? I can't remember. But M3GAN 2.0 is only in one theater because it only has the, I believe, the 4 showings today. A noon, a 4 o'clock, the 7 I'm going to go see, and then a 10 o'clock show. So it's interesting to see how they're running that. Again, horror films, they're hit and miss. This is an A24. I believe I have that information correct. So they usually do pretty good, but we'll see. Like I said, one out of, compared to maybe 3 for F1. Well, you know what? As soon as we pull into the theater, we'll figure that out when we get inside. So I had to park in the way back of the lot and all that. I usually like to show up a little earlier so I don't have to deal with that sort of situation. But it is what it is, and that means we can come out one of the back doors and be closer to this parking spot so we don't have to walk around the building anymore. Even like, I have a couple things on stage, like, yeah, it's earlier as awesome. You know about this or no? Of course, of course. So according to the advertisement, actually, that's up on the tote board when you're at the snack bar. So apparently there are helmets, racing helmets for F1. So I guess you can eat out of a F1 helmet and all that. This particular location does not have those, but apparently they are available at Cineplex. So that's one of the new things for this week of movies. So something I wasn't expecting. Yep. M3GAN. Alright, so we are in FG12. There we go.
He escaped.
Every single member of this team is excited to be part of this film simply because we're such big fans of the original.
It's so unique and special and definitely
here we go.
A highlight in my career.
All right, so that was M3GAN 2.0. Now, spoiler alert, what I mentioned earlier in this review, the Terminator 2 parallels, well, this obviously isn't James Cameron doing this and all that, but you scale it down to this level, pretty much the same thing. You know what? It was a fun movie, entertaining, that's for sure. I hadn't seen the original M3GAN in the theater, so I only saw it like on TV, on streaming and all that. But it was nice to be able to see this on big screen. It wasn't a full audience, but there was a very unexpectedly young audience. The row behind me was filled with giggling girls throughout the whole entire movie. So, I mean, it's a theater experience. You go with what you get. There was actually like kids in the theater as well. There was a mother with her two boys that were sitting in the row in front of me, just off to the side of where I was. The youngest was probably maybe 6 at the most. So the movie is funny. It's entertaining. I don't think it needed to be a 2-hour movie. I think you could have cropped out a lot of stuff. There is a lot of story that, it gets to and all that sort of thing. There is a lot of really cool fight sequences. They do a lot of great camera work, a lot of really cool stunt work and all that sort of thing, which is what you expected from this movie. The nice thing is a lot of the stuff that you see in the trailer is minuscule compared to what we actually get in the movie, which is kind of cool. It's not gory, a little bit of bloodshed, but you don't really see the result of it. You get the idea of it. It's more of a cutaway at the last second. So I'm wondering if it's like a ratings thing, how it was edited. So I wonder if there's like a more intense version of this movie that's out there. A lot of it does look like it's like, setting up to do some sort of effect, and then all of a sudden the camera cuts to blood splattering on a wall and all that sort of thing. I mean, you hear the sound effects and all that, so it's more of like a, reference to Texas Chainsaw. You don't actually see a lot of stuff. You're just like given the idea of what's happening. Your brain decides to fill in the missing pieces. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. I mean, I'm glad I saw it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. It didn't blow me away. But what I got out of it, I was entertained. I don't regret having seen the movie. So it was a good theater experience. I don't see it breaking any records and all that sort of thing, sadly, from what I saw. Could be a different audience picks this movie up and carries it to the top of the charts this weekend. Fantastic. From what I saw, though, I mean, again, you won't know until you actually see the movie how much people are going to enjoy it within the first weekend, at least. But I enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't a horror film, that's for sure. It was more of a thriller, definitely an action. It was interesting seeing the way that they went about creating M3GAN 2.0. Again, you see a lot of it in the trailer, so that sort of sequence is sort of spoiled for you, but again, it's how Blumhouse does their stuff. And I believe I mentioned this was an A24 for some strange reason, but it definitely is a Blumhouse movie. But yeah, so it was like I said, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Not gonna blow me away. I don't know. I'd like to see more behind the scenes stuff. That's definitely what I'm looking forward to how they put this together, because what they did for the first movie was quite fascinating and whatnot. But I'd like to see what extras they did for this, because there's a lot more that effects wise and stunt wise that they did in M3GAN instead, and they just upped the ante for M3GAN 2.0. Definitely. Even though, I mean, Jermaine Clemens is in the movie, but that's no shocker when you realize, hey, wait a sec, I recognize all these background characters and all that sort of thing from stuff I've seen online. And I'm like, oh my God, was this movie shot in Australia? So apparently it was shot in New Zealand, masquerading as the United States. So it's interesting, good, fantastic, and all that sort of thing. But it's a lot of set pieces. There's not a lot of exteriors, so you don't really get the feel of that. But it's a lot of like, hey, I recognize that guy from that Australian thing that I used to watch, or that online comedy thing that I watched from Australia and whatnot. So it's kind of cool. So like I said, Jermaine Clemens and all that is very Jermaine Clemens in this movie. But I'm just gonna keep saying this over and over again. Do yourself a favor, and no matter what it is, go out this summer and see movies. The box office will tell those who make movies that people want to go out and see movies, because if we don't, we're going to end up with just everything going to streaming, and it's not going to be as fun. Sure, if you got the spectacular giant screen and the amazing sound system and all that sort of thing, that's great. Go ahead. More power to you. But those of us that don't have that, the movie theater is the place to go to experience that. The community of seeing a movie is part of the experience. And if you tell people that are responsible for where movies end up by buying your tickets and going out and seeing these movies, they'll understand that, hey, people want to go out to see the movies. So other than that, got another movie to talk about a couple of days from now. F1. I'll get you a review on that when I get to it. But till next time, see you at the box office.